Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek. Bit of news tonight, and it's mostly fantasy type stuff. I don't often do fantasy things, do I? But, what the heck? Let's do some fantasy. Right, I'm back. Right, let's get on with it, shall we? Where's my thingamabob? There we go. Straight up, first one. Disney is by the way, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, all that stuff, hit, what they say, smash the like button. Don't know why you've got to say smash. Just use your mouse pointer, go across it, that little thumbs up button, and click on it. I think left click is the appropriate term. Do that, and it'd be greatly appreciated. And also in the blue boxes over there, well, red boxes with the blue little icons, they're my social medias, my Facebook and my Twitter and my Instagram. You can see what I get up to on there. Mostly nonsense. But right, so as where were we? And don't forget, all the links for these stories will be in the description box below. The links for my social medias and stuff there in there as well as a link for I can't be bothered for my book. That's in there as well. Right, where were we? Right, Disney is adapting 1001 Nights into an action fantasy sci-fi movie. I mean, Tales of 1001 Nights, the Arabian Nights, and that's what it's talking about. Right, there we go. Let's have a look. Disney is developing a new fantasy sci-fi adaptation of 1001 Nights. Since Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Disney has been known to take classic stories, fairy tales, and folk traditions and turn them into successful and entertaining feature films and television shows. Among the numerous adaptations, one of the most compelling has been the 1992 animated classic Aladdin, based on the story from 1001 Nights. The feature film is about a poor orphan street rat who acquires a magic lamp that summons a genie that can grant any wish, but puts him in trouble with an evil vizier who plots to steal it for himself. Aladdin went on to become a major hit and spawned 2 direct-to-video sequels, an animated series, and more. In 2019, a live-action remake starring Mina Massoud, Naomi Scott, and Will Smith released, earning over $1 billion globally. I'm still not saying it. Before then, Disney had experimented with adapting another tale from 1001 Nights for its cancelled feature, Musicana. The film was to have a segment based on Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, which follows the story of a merchant who outwits a gang of thieves and was to be told with anthropomorphic birds. While the project never materialised, Disney's interest in 1001 Nights has clearly stayed strong. According to Deadline, Disney is developing a new fantasy sci-fi adaptation of 1001 Nights, currently titled 1001 Nights. A bit like, 101 Dalmatians, that were originally based on the book titled, in words, The 101 Dalmatians. Obviously, they don't like long titles, do they? Just four numbers, 4 digits. You don't bother with that 1001 part, because, people don't like to read. Disney has hired Arash Amel to write the screenplay, with Amel previously working with Disney Plus on the biographical sports drama Rise. It is currently unknown how the film is adapting the story, but despite sharing its source with Aladdin, it's said to be an original standalone IP. The original 1001 Nights tale follows a sultan by the name of, I get this wrong, Sharia, who, having been betrayed by his unfaithful wife, has her killed. To retain his place on the throne, he decides to marry a woman every day and have her executed in the morning. Jolly tale. By the way, I remember I once started reading it. I used to have it in a book, The Tales of 1001 Nights, and I can't even remember if I finished reading it. I started reading it when I was a kid. But there you go. Where were I? The vizier's clever daughter, Scheherazade, becomes his next wife and starts to tell him a story, but always ends on a cliffhanger or tease to stay alive the next day. This continues on for 1001 nights, 3 years or whatever, until Scheherazade, my phone binging. It hasn't pinged all day, and as soon as I start doing this, ping, somebody sends me a message. Until Sharia falls in love with her. Among the many tales she tells include Aladdin, Alibaba, and Sinbad the Sailor. Adapting 1001 Nights, independent of Aladdin, allows Disney to once again think outside the box and create a unique film that will make the most of its storytelling capabilities. While Aladdin is one of the company's most successful and iconic IPs, there are those who are dissatisfied with the live-action remakes and strive to see more daring live-action film adaptations. Adaptations of other stories. 1001 Nights gives Disney the chance to dig into the broader source material and create something new and exciting with the classic folk tales. So there you go. So yeah, I just hope they do a good job. And make an exciting story with monsters and creatures and all sorts of stuff. Because that's what you want, innit, from this, 1001 Nights. It's all about genies and, let's say, Sinbad and his creatures and monsters that he had on. And Alibaba and all that, open sesame and all that. That's what you want, innit? So I hope they do a good job, and I hope they don't make it, modern, for the modern world. Just tell a good story, for crying out loud. Right, next. Red Sonja, first look. Matilda Lutz stars in Millennium Media's comic book film, and I presume that's her. Yes, that's Matilda Lutz. She ain't a redhead, is she? Right, can you read that? I'm going to have to move it over, aren't I, now? Tell you, why can't they have a standard format for these pages? There we go. Right, Millennium Media has unveiled the first still from its anticipated comic book film Red Sonja, starring Matilda Lutz, who was in Revenge, apparently. I've never heard of it. Which is currently in production at the Bulgarian New Bojana studio. Is it new or new? I don't know. With additional shoots at the Greek New Bojana studio scheduled for later in the month. Derived from the Sword and Sorcery comic books of the same name from Dynamite Entertainment, Red Sonja is based on the heroine created by Robert E. Howard and adapted by Roy Thomas. While the character is billed as a fearsome warrior boasting a high degree of skill with the sword, details as to the film adaptation's plot have so far been kept under wraps. Lutz is joined in the pick by Wallace Day, Robert Sheehan, Michael Bisping, Martin Ford, Eliza Matengu, Manal El Feiture, I'm getting all these wrong, Katrina Durden, and Oliver Trevenna. MJ Bassett, Solomon Kane is directing from a script by Joey Soloway, Transparent, don't know that one, and Tasha oh God, Netflix's Tomb Raider. Is there a Tomb Raider thing coming on Netflix? Yeah, I think I read about that recently. Yeah. Anyway, picked producers are Mark Canton, 300 on Power, Courtney Solomon, blah blah blah, Luke Lieberman on behalf of Red Sonja LLC. Loads of names. Right, Millennium is the independent film company known for its work on the Expendables franchise, as well as Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen. Lots of names, films. There we go. And here we go, what you want, this is what we're waiting for. Check out the art, teasing the company's Red Sonja film below. So there you go, there's a picture of Matilda Lutz as Red Sonja. Doesn't give away much, does it? She's got a sword, bit of armour. She's a redhead, but that's it. They're not giving much else away. She got the revealing metal scales bikini thing on. I don't know. Probably not. And that's it. That's your lot. That's all you're getting. So there you go. So we'll see. Like I say, Solomon Kane, what a decent film. It was quite good. So hopefully this one will be good. It all depends on the script, obviously. So that's that one. I hope it'll be good. I'm not overly familiar with Red Sonja, to be honest. I didn't read the comics. I was never a Conan fan. So I'm not a huge fantasy literature fan. But I've seen the film with Bridget Nielsen, and it's okay. It's okay. But what we need is basically Conan, innit? We basically need Conan in female form, with an attractive woman going around killing people, chopping off heads and arms, and killing monsters and stuff like that. That's what we need, innit? She's got a mission to do, probably save somebody, and not belittle people along the way, not say, oh, look how great I am. She's got to be, humble and all that. But not too humble. she knows how good she is, but she's got to be, not throwing it in your face. Right, next up, George R.R. Martin. House of the Dragon will need at least 4 seasons. That is how long it'll take to tell the story of the Dance of the Dragon. House of the Dragon is a different beast than Game of Thrones. Following the civil war of a single family across the years and generations, this timeline required the show's creators to utilise time jumps, something George R.R. Martin defends, while saying the series will need 4 seasons at its current pace. In his most recent personal blog, George R.R. Martin wrote about the most recent episode of House of the Dragon, The Lord of the Tides, praising the writer, director and actor Paddy Considine, whom he personally texted to congratulate, and I cried during that episode. Amazing. I give it a 10 out of 10. He also took the time to address the time jumps that the show has done over the course of the first season to move the timeline close to 20 years from when it started. This also means certain actors like Millie Alcock, young Rhaenyra, and Emily Carey, young Alicent, have been replaced with Emma Darcy, a woman who says she's good at playing women, but she claims she's non-binary, but she's a woman, and Olivia Cook, respectively. Martin Pratt, don't get me, by the way. I'm just talking, facts, not opinions. Martin praised the use of the time jumps as a necessity resulting from the shorter seasons. House of the Dragon only has 10 episodes a season, as opposed to shows like The Sopranos, which had 13 seasons just a decade ago. Remember when TV shows had like 24 episodes a season? Series like 24, that had 24 episodes a season. And Star Trek, that had like, 20 to 23 episodes a season. Some of them had more. Don't get that these days, do you? I think the last shows, to have that many episodes were things like, The Flash and like Supernatural, that had over 20 episodes a season. Anyway. The Sopranos had 13 episodes per season, but just a few years later, Game of Thrones had only 10, and not even that, those last 2 seasons. Game of Thrones' last 2 seasons were just a waste of time, weren't they? If House of the Dragon had 13 episodes per season, maybe we could have shown all the things we had to time jump over, Martin says. But Martin also says that the added storylines would have risked having some viewers complain that the show was too slow, that nothing happened. So with 10 episodes, House of the Dragon needed to make some story decisions, but at the current rate, it is going to take 4 full seasons of 10 episodes each to do justice to the Dance of the Dragons from start to finish, Martin admits. Luckily, House of the Dragon has already been renewed for a second season. For more, go to a link. Oh, there we go, so that's that. By the way, George, why are you talking about that? Go and finish your next book. What is it? Winds of Winter. Just get it done. Get it done for your fans. I'm not a fan. I've got the books. Well, I've got the first few of them. I bought them in like a set. Then I started reading them. It's not for me. I'm not a fan of the literary Game of Thrones. Loved the series apart from the last season. But not the books, it's not for me, it's a bit of a slog. Right, next up, Sydney Sweeney will play 60s sci-fi icon Barbarella. I know it's technically not fantasy, it's like sci-fi fantasy, I suppose, isn't it? The Euphoria Emmy nominee will star in the role famously played by Jane Fonda. Right, where's the text here? So we've got to move this again, look, move this all the way over here, look. Hey. Right, back in 1968, industry legend and proud leftist activist, she got in a bit of trouble, didn't she, during the Vietnam War, Hanoi Jane and all that, Jane Fonda fronted a soon-to-be classic film Barbarella, a sexy sci-fi tale about a time-travelling government agent sent to stop an evil scientist, Duran Duran, from inventing a potentially deadly weapon of mass destruction. The film has withstood the test of time, becoming a cult classic that has inspired film and fashion. By the way, I recorded it the other day. It were on, Sky Movies in the UK, and I thought, I'll record that because I haven't seen it for a while. And then this pops up. I haven't got around to watching it yet. And now, more than 50 years after its initial release, Barbarella is getting a 2020s remake with Emmy-nominated Euphoria star Sydney Sweeney attached to star as the title character. News of the forthcoming project first came from Deadline, who also revealed that the young starlet would be an executive producer. It gets me go up when actors become producers on their own films. It does me head in. I know executive producer can mean anything, it's just that she gets that credit probably just because her name's attached and she can bring other people in. But when they get to, just act. Just read the script and act. That's all you need to do. Don't get involved in the creative part. The creative as in writing. Anyway, what am I on about? Right, according to reports, the proposed remake is in that unless you're super ace and really super talented, then you can do it. People like Clint Eastwood and people like that, they get away with it. According to reports, the proposed remake is in the earliest stages of development. In fact, Sweeney's casting seems like the only thing that actually has been agreed on. At the moment, the new project has not found a writer, a director, nor any producers, which is to say this film won't be getting made for a while. Of course, there's no real reason to rush anyway, especially considering how much Sweeney currently has on her plate. Though she lost in both Emmy categories she was nominated in, Sweeney has not taken any time to rest. I've never heard of her. She recently wrapped production on Tony Tost's directorial debut National Anthem, where she leads a cast that includes Halsey. What? Who's Halsey? I don't know. Have we mentioned it before? I don't know. Paul Walter Halsey, I'm confused, and Simon Rex, might be a typo. And currently she's filming Madame Web, a new entry into the Sony Marvel catalogue, where she will appear next to Dakota Johnson as the title character, Zosha Mamet. And Scream Queen's Emma Roberts, I'm choosing to ignore her wig. Why, I don't know. Is there a picture of it there? Shall we have a look? I don't know what they're talking about, her wig. Let's have a look. Oh, it goes to a Twitter thing. Let's have a look. That wig? Is it that wig? Sydney Sweeney's wig, poor thing. Oh, actually, that's, is it that? I presume it's that. There you go. Well, whatever. Meow. Being a bit catty out there on nylon. And if it wasn't already apparent that the executives at Sony Pictures love them some Sydney, the recent news that the studio acquired adaptation rights for the registration, which will star and be produced by Sweeney, she's at it again, should clear that right on up. And oh yeah, let's not forget about her commitments for Season 3 of Euphoria, after earning an Emmy nomination for her Go for Broke performance in Season 2 of HBO's Technicolor teen hit. Show creator Sam Levinson will definitely be giving her a lot to work with once filming for that kicks back up. So yeah, Sydney Sweeney is busy, but whenever she is ready to jet off through the space-time continuum in a sickening Corbusier-inspired spacesuit, I'll be ready. Check out Sydney Sweeney's celebratory Instagram post below. That's from her Instagram. Just says Sid, just a name, and it's just a picture of Jane Fonda, a painting of Jane Fonda as Barbarella. And I doubt very much that Sydney Sweeney's version of Barbarella will look very much like that. I think it'll be a bit more, for a modern audience. She won't be cavorting around although she looks very nice, very shapely. But I don't think she'll be cavorting around in the stuff that Jane Fonda did, getting attacked by dolls and stuff and basically shagging her way to success. It was the swinging 60s after all. Right, that's your lot. So we will leave it there. It's just a quick one tonight. I'll probably class it as a news bite and not a full news programme. So, wherever you are in the universe, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say thee.